Hello and welcome to episode 10 of my Empyrion Galactic Survival tutorial Let's Play series. This episode will be on making a hover vehicle for the sole purpose of drilling. I have called my new creation the MegloDrill, a good accessory for any would-be megalomaniac. First, let's explain my new base, which you can see I'm at now. I know some of you like to follow my progress with your own games, so starting on Nings was a very bad idea, as I did not find any fibre or seaweed, and it would have just been a lot of work. So my cunning plan is to build up resources on Aqua, and then proceed to Nings and progress much more easily. As you're going to see in later episodes. Let's then have a look at my new base. So as always, I've started near water so I can get purified water and oxygen. You'll see it's still work in progress. I've got to build all the walls, but this is the outline of the structure. The idea is that I'm going to put a set of doors here, so my hover vehicle can come in and out. It can skim across the water and then just skim inside. I'll have a roof and walls built by then, hopefully, along with the hangar doors. Let's show you inside. So here's a hover vehicle with a drill bit, which a drill module I should say. Here's one I was experimenting with. This is not the MegloDrill. Trust me, by any means. This is just a simple hover vehicle with a drill bit, but I had a bit of playing around with it. What I want to show you is my findings on my new MegloDrill. Okay, so in here, normal story. To start with, I made sure I tunnelled in and went to the right. That way, if the drones did come and attack, which they did, they won't have access to shoot any of my stuff up, because they're not going to destroy the terrain anymore. They don't do as much damage to the terrain. So placing your base under a cave automatically protects it. It's a no-brainer, except for that bit out there, of course, the hangar bit, which I need for my craft. They'll shoot that up, but you're going to see I don't care about that because I've got tons of rock shards. So I've got myself back to the level I'd got to in the last episode I did on Aqua, as in having the basic machinery. I think I didn't have oxygen on the last base, so I have now. I've got an O2 station and an O2 tank, and I've also got a medic station for if I get hurt, or rather when I get hurt. I put one cargo box over here, which I'm storing bits and bobs in as I get to loot them from my adversaries. Okay, over here we've got our survival constructor. Sole purpose is for making rock dust and cement and then concrete blocks. Over here, generator. Here's the large constructor. Is the MegloDrill effective? Well, check this out. I've got thousands of ores, and this is what I'm going to be showing you in this episode. How you can get also thousands of ores. So the same two-tier base that I had in the past. So if we do the C key, glide down. Here's my farm. Again, I've got it up and running, and it's producing plenty of food. If I just show you, I've got a load of canned vegetables stored in there, and vegetables. Actually, I need to stick that water in there. So I've got this going on down here. This is my farmland. I've got a few of these pathing around it like I've shown you previously, so you don't need to see that. What you've come to see is the MegloDrill. So let's show you it. Okay, right. The first thing I better do is hop inside and put some light on the subject, and also show you what makes up this beast. Okay, so let's switch it on. There we go, there's a bit of light. Right, now while I'm in the MegloDrill, let's take a look at exactly what makes it up. What makes it the MegloDrill. So if I press the P for Papa key, that will bring up the control panel. Here's all the components of my hover drill, or MegloDrill. Okay, so I've got one normal cargo box. I have 2 harvest box. The reason I have 2 is the whole idea of when I built this is, I don't know how all the rest of you go mining on your planets, but someone with a disturbed mind like mine, or a mining maniac, let's say, he likes to build his hover vehicle so he can last out in the field for a long time. So what by that I mean having a cargo box that I can fill up with all bits and bobs. I noticed that occasionally in my hover vehicle I'm using up oxygen. Not all the time, but just occasionally the oxygen's going down, so I've put on it some O2 station and an O2 tank in case that happens. Normally I store a load of fuel packs on here as well for when you're out in the field, you're going to go through them. So that's my cargo box. The harvest box, the reason I got 2 of them, not that one, but if I show you with the other one, they can soon start to fill up with different ores depending on what you've been mining, but they can soon start to fill up. That's my point. So I've got 2 of these harvest boxes, and you will see as I drill everything, all the resources that I drill go into these 2 harvest cargo boxes. It took precedence on filling this one up first, and then it will move on to that one. So I've got 1 cargo box, 2 harvest boxes. I've got the open cockpit again because it's nice and small, so it doesn't take up much room. I've tried to keep the MegloDrill to as small as possible. Obviously got the core, which you've got to start with. I've got 5 drill modules attached on the front, which I will give you a better view of in a moment. I've got a fridge because when you're out in the field for a long time you're going to need a lot of food, so I intend to fill this up, all of this full with canned vegetables eventually. Okay, next I've put in 2 fuel tanks because you will start burning through the fuel when you're out drilling, especially if you want to mine lots and lots. So I always make sure to keep them both full up, like so. Next we got the generator, then we got a hover booster. Not actually got that to work yet, I've got to work out what I'm doing wrong. Then 2 hover engines. This is an important bit for your hover drill, your hover vehicle with a drill. I've made one, like I say, for the sole purpose of drilling. Why 2 hover engines and not 4 then, you're asking? Well, let's show you. Let's hop out and go to the back. Okay, I've placed both my hover engines on the back here. Just whoops, there's one on this side and the other one is at the back on that side. Why have I done that? Well, by putting 2 engines on the rear of the vehicle, it will automatically point downwards because the back is being raised by the hover engines. So for drilling purposes, I can just move forwards drilling and it will always be pointing down. You can use the mouse to lift the nose up a bit, so I can actually still drill upwards if I wish, but I'm going to show you a little trick to aid you if you want to mine upwards. But for now, suffice to say, if you're making a hover vehicle for drilling, put the 2 engines on the back. That will automatically make sure that it's always facing downwards. You can see it a little bit there, but if I get in I can demonstrate this a bit better perhaps. So let's get in, press the space bar. Now if I climb out, let's demonstrate. Okay, so as you can clearly see there now, by pressing the space bar and hovering further off the ground, I'm now pointing downwards more at an angle. There is tricks that you can spin your hover vehicle so it's standing on its head, so the drill bits are all facing into the ground, and then you can have a right old time drilling, ripping the earth up. As you can see here, I've got 5 drill modules positioned as so, like so. So you're saying, Gamester, why have you got 5 positioned? Why haven't you just got them all together across the side or top? Or Each drill module will mine between 1 and 3 meters, so therefore it's a waste to put them side by side. I mean, it's possibly a waste having them this close together, but I didn't want my vehicle to be too wide. You will see why. For getting down tunnels and drilling around, it's best to try and keep it as thin as you can and as short as you can. Although mine is a little long, got no choice about that. You know, no doubt some of you will make perfect ones, but I'm going to show you what the MegloDrill is capable of. So there we have it, 5 drill modules, each drilling up to 3 meters around the vicinity of the actual drill bit. So it makes an awful mess, and it makes an awfully big hole. Now, with some of you, no doubt you glide over the surface of the planet or fly over it, drilling the different nodes. Me, being a lunatic, I prefer to be just like in June with the big spice worms. I like to drill through a planet and make lots of big holes. So if I can actually land on my vehicle to get in it, I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are. Now this tunnel ahead of me, I originally manually drilled with my tier 2 drill because I didn't have enough resources to build this hover vehicle. So it was still big enough though for the MegloDrill to fit down. So let's go down here and show you. So I got all the way down here to the cobalt, and look how cool this is, having tunnels. I can fly down them, whiz down them. So that one I manually mined with my tier 2 drill. But I did also then start to, once I had enough resources and got the MegloDrill built, I did start to use this to mine it out as well. So I've got that down to 10% of the cobalt left. But here, if we check this tunnel out, this tunnel was made solely by the MegloDrill. And with this tunnel I headed off in the direction of the silicon. So you can see the speed I'm flying down at. It only takes time initially when you're first doing your tunnels. After you've done them, you can fly around the planet. Now, I encountered this red stuff, and when I first got to it, I thought, oh no, I don't want the MegloDrill burnt to a crisp. I thought that looks like lava. So what I'll do is I'll hop out and I'll see if it is lava, and I'll walk over it. If it is lava, it'll burn me to a crisp. But I prefer that to getting my poor MegloDrill burnt up, because that was a lot more work. So standing over it though, you can see it doesn't do me no harm. Of course I didn't know that to start with, but then that's what you've come to expect from me, doing some pretty silly things. Okay, let's jump back in if I can. So it can be a little tricky moving your hover drill around, but you do get used to it. I mean, it doesn't, I don't know whether I'm upside down, sideways or backwards at the moment, but to be honest with you, when you're drilling tunnels, it don't really matter, because as long as you got them drills going, you're making holes and you're making progress. So I think there was a resource here. Anyway, let's move on if I can. I can spin. You can use the different thrusters for different directions. Oh, I didn't carry on finish off telling you all the components, did I? So let's do that next once I can free myself up. Now another little tip, doing the O key and pushing forwards always springs you forwards when you're in your vehicle, so that's useful for when you get a bit stuck. Anyway, let's carry on down this tunnel. No, that's going back, so let's turn around. I think this was silicon that I've mined out right here, and don't worry, I am going to show you some mining. Yeah, this was a silicon deposit, so there's still a load here. It's down to 42%. Let's see if I can figure out though which way I progressed to the next resource. There we go, there's the tunnel. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is hop out, or stay in there, press the P key and go through the rest. So there's the 2 hover engines. You put them on the back of your hover vehicle, that way it's always facing down at the front, makes life much easier for drilling. I've put one light on each side. I've got the spotlight cube on the front. I put a mobile constructor in case I need to make anything on the go. I've already spoke about the oxygen station and tank because sometimes it uses up my oxygen, don't ask me why. I decided on 4 RCSs. When I had one it was very difficult to turn. After I'd put 3 more on it's very easy to turn, when I can that is. Talking about thrusters, I've got the... Oh, there's the timer, right. That's the 15-minute timer for those of you that like to only watch for a few minutes. For the rest of you that don't mind going past the 15-minute stage, I'm going to keep recording because I want to show you some right madness. Okay, so carrying on, I've got my 2 regular boosters on the back. I'm thinking about putting a couple more on the back because I've got 4 on the front and I fly backwards when I do reverse thrust. When I do forward thrust it's sluggish, so I'm going to perhaps put a couple more main thrusters on the back. Then I've got I think 3 on each side, which seems to work well. So that's the makeup of my hover vehicle. Let's go have some fun drilling and show you it in action. Show you the MegloDrill. Remember, sometimes you need to lower yourself down by pressing the C key because the hover drill will get stuck if it hovers up too high to the ceiling. This was all punched out by this wonderful MegloDrill, and what I was doing is heading towards the iron. You can never have enough iron, I always say, and so I had a load of fun drilling it. You can see it's down to 26% now. Okay, so climbing upwards, definitely a good idea to put the hover vehicle down to the ground as far as you can go, and then you see you can still climb upwards, and that's what I did to mine out the... What was this? This was something just here. Anyway, let's carry on to the iron. You can see I'm flying around the planet. Now, why have I got no guns on my hover vehicle, you might be wondering? Because I'm staying underground like a mole. So I'm not giving the drones any opportunity to attack me. Therefore I can save space and weight by not having to put turrets on my vehicle. I'm just for the sole purpose of drilling. So therefore I'm staying underground as much as I can. Now here of course I've mined out all the iron going to the surface. So yes, we can see the surface, but I do keep my eyes out for drones, and if they come I'll whiz back into my tunnel like so, and they leave me in peace, and then I'll fly off to another resource. So anyway, let's show you this in action. Check out this. Here's a bit of iron. Watch it disintegrate before your eyes. Notice as you drill you can move forwards and point the nose upwards, therefore you can drill straight up to the surface if you want, even though you've got engines on the rear of the vehicle. It does not matter. So if I wanted to, I can climb all the way up to the surface. Let's show you how you do that. So I keep using the mouse to face upwards, and I just keep drilling, and eventually I'm going to fly to the surface. It might be I have to reverse thrust and drill a bit down, but eventually I will make it. Like so. There you go. That's how you can get to the surface. Even if you've drilled out a big massive crater, you can still easily get to the surface. So let's go in here and get a bit more of this iron. Waste not, want not. Now the only trouble I find is I get lost in these big craters I keep making. I lose the tunnel entrance to where I come in. I'll have to figure out some method of doing this a bit better. And no doubt some of you have said, but wait a minute, you've said this is a great MegloDrill. It looks like you've slapped it together. Yes, well, you know my style. I like to slap things together. That's exactly how I was put together, slapped together. So why not make a MegloDrill that has been also slapped together? But it does the job. All about functionality, not about prettiness. I've just got to hope I don't get a drone fly by. Then I'll be easy game. But like I say, I'll just go to my tunnel and retreat. The name of this game is Getting Resources, and as you can see in the bottom left, I am getting a ton of them as I move around drilling. You can see it's very, very quick for getting resources. This is the way to go for mining, definitely. And I know there are some other mining accessories you can make, like the turrets. I'll get to them eventually. I'm having too much fun with the normal drill modules, to be honest with you. But I will demonstrate them in another episode, and it'll be a good one. As you can see, I'm decimating this iron node. Not long and it will all be gone, thanks to the MegloDrill. All you got to do is keep moving it around, pointing it towards the iron or whatever ore it is that you're drilling, and you will watch it vanish before your very eyes, and you will make an awful mess in the landscape. Now what I might do is areas where I've punched through to the surface, I will get out my tier 2 drill, go up to the surface and use the filler, which is now a part of the tier 2 drill, and fill the hole up on the surface so the drones can't see me. And eventually I will have a massive network of tunnels spread all across this planet, and I will do the same with the other planets. Okay, you want to make sure you do take enough fuel packs with you, because you will go through quite a bit of energy, but when you think about how much resources you're getting, it's insubstantial. You will have so much ore, it will just get crazy, trust me. Am I upside down or straight? I don't know, I ain't got a clue. If you press the O key, remember, it spins you, flips you the right way, and also if you're thrusting forwards, it will thrust you forwards at the same time. There's all little tricks like that you will learn as you start to drill with your hover vehicle. Like, you know, if you can't get up and it just seems like it's jammed, reverse thrust, forward thrust. Press the O key when you forward thrust and you'll fly upwards after a reverse thrust. And that's how I've managed to nearly completely mine out all of these nodes. And I'm just going to keep on going like a complete maniac across the whole planet until all the nodes are gone. What I want to do is make an episode showing you how the nodes replenish with meteor strikes. So I want to replenish some of the nodes and then see if I can demonstrate or show it happening, the process of a node regenerating via meteors. You'll notice I've turned the game sound right down low. It's still probably drilling loud, but at least you should be able to hopefully hear me okay. I really hope so. I don't want to record this episode again. So the aim of my target for this iron is to completely deplete it. So there's none left. Which I'm sure you'll agree I've nearly achieved. There are bits here and there. But they are fast disappearing. Okay, that's all that got. Oh, there's a bit left there. Okay, let's see, how are we doing? Okay, O, forward thrust, see that? It flies you out of any rut or hole you get yourself into. Let's lower myself down a bit. Yeah, thrusters going left and right seem to be good. My reverse thruster is definitely good. It's just my forward thrust. Not much thrust there at the moment. Okay, now what I want to do, let's hop out of this vehicle and take a look at how much of the resource is still here. If I can see where it is, where it says it. Of course there's a big hole, but where does it say iron? I probably have to move away. Right, okay, well, that is iron, by the looks of it, pretty much decimated. Yeah, there's a little there. We can always take care of that with manually. And the other little bits, if there are any, I can just, like I say, manually drill them out, providing I'm not going to be falling too far. Okay, so that I think is iron, pretty done and dusted. Where to next, I hear you ask? Well, I do need promethium. I have 2,000, but I'd like 10,000. Because I want to get ready to start building the small, the space vessel, the small vehicle, and then start thinking about a capital vessel. So there's copper straight ahead. Let's have a look. Isn't there any promethium? Cobalt, there's the promethium over there. So I could head to the copper and then head on to the promethium. Let's give that a go. Straight ahead. I'm going to stay... Oh, wait a minute, is that my tunnel? I'll just check whether that's the tunnel I came in via. No, it's not. I want to stay as close to the ground as I can, because that way I won't puncture through to the surface. But we are off to a copper deposit. Let's show you how long it takes to do 306 meters with the MegloDrill. And this is the Mark 1. I haven't even got to the Mark 2 yet. And the Mark 2 is probably only going to have a couple more thrusters on the back, but never mind, that's neither here nor there. As you can see, it chews through the rock like a knife through butter. Yeah, it's not as quick as flying across the surface, granted, but once the tunnel is done, then it will be quicker than flying across the surface. Because I won't have to contend with mountains or anything. I'll just have a straight tube to fly down, as you see how I got to the iron. Now I still want to show you that little trick of how you can get your drill up to the surface very easily. So when I get to this copper node, I'm going to show you that. Don't let me forget, make sure you remind me. I've got to say that this is the most fun I've ever had in any game when it comes to drilling. Really, I mean, you can't beat having a vehicle just whizzing through the planet, drilling out all the different nodes. It's just so great. And then I can use all of this stuff. I mean, you see I'm getting lots of rock shards. Well, guess what that's going to be used for? One massive base. Or, you know, when I build my capital vessel, I'm going to put probably 100,000 concrete blocks on it, so I can use them concrete blocks for building bases on the moon, Nings, Omicron, and all the other planets that we're going to get to. So all this stone is going to be useful. And like I say, it doesn't matter what direction I'm facing, you know, whether I'm upside down or normal position. I have no idea whether I am upside down or sideways or whatever. It don't really matter, because I just keep drilling towards this node, and at the end of it there'll be a massive tunnel going here. Whereas if you're on the surface, it always tends to matter whether you're flying upside down or sideways. But underground, it doesn't matter. Okay, I need to eat, so let's go into my inventory. In fact, let's go into my ship and the fridge. Where are you, fridge? There you are. Let's access that and eat some food. Remember, you can shift right click on the food even in the fridge in your vehicle and you'll eat. Okay, let's carry on. So we've nearly covered 100 meters. You'll see the way that I've done the drill modules is that I can see straight ahead of me easily, and also you can see ahead easily. That's why I didn't put another one just in front of me, because I didn't want to block my view. Obviously I don't even need to use the external camera because I can see perfectly what I'm doing. Now I'm hoping while I'm going around drilling all these huge tunnels all around Aqua, I will find the other two parts of the MS Titan. I've found the midsection, hence how I was able to get my tier 2 drill, but I've still not found the rear or the front. So what I'm hoping is, the plan is that as I'm drilling around the planet like this, I will get a prompt saying that I found one of the other pieces of the Titan, and then I only need to drill up under it, and I'm going to use the MegloDrill to drill it out. How about that? How cool does that sound? You can see now why you need a cargo box to fit in your extra fuel packs, a fridge to fit all that food, and 2 harvest boxes to fit all of this other stuff, resources and rocks. All of it will be useful, but it means I haven't got to keep going back to my base. I can last for days. Days and days of just drilling before I have to go back. Okay, we're nearly halfway there. And then I can show you that little trick. Notice I tried to keep the nose of my the mouse crosshair. I try to keep that over the resource itself, so I'm going as straight as possible. Yeah, all that crushed stone is very useful for your food production and also base production, the concrete blocks for your base, but also though for making your canned vegetables you need crushed stone for that, I believe. So all of this will come in useful. Okay, so you can see how I move about the planet. Now at some point I'm going to test this MegloDrill out against one of them alien bases. I'm going to drill up underneath it and then see if I can pop out with a nice surprise with them. What I'm going to do is use my F5 drone to fly around and plant some explosives on the turrets. So I'm going to drill up underneath it. I'm then going to drill a hole to the surface, just big enough for my drone to get through, and then I'm going to fly the drone straight to their turrets and plant explosives on all their turrets. So that should hopefully be a lot of fun for y'all to watch. But that of course is another episode, and hopefully it will be a good one. So I'm hoping to get about 10,000 of every ore, and then after that I can think about making a small vehicle. I think, is it a small vehicle or small vessel or space vehicle? I don't know what the S stands for off the top of my head. But once I have made an episode about making one of them, then I want to make a capital vessel, and I know exactly what type of capital vessel I want to make. It's going to be big, because I'm going to use it as a moving base, so it will really be my permanent base, because now that you don't have to make them out in space, now you can make them off the planet's surface, I can fly it around a planet. And I'll just need a small vessel to fly back and forth to it. Again though, like I say, I'm hoping to show all of that. Okay, we're getting close to this copper. Now what I want to do is hit the node from the bottom, because then it's easier for me to get back along my tunnel to my base, because obviously I'd have drilled the whole node out, and so I'll be left on the ground, and that's where I want my entrance to this tunnel to be, on the ground if I can, or as near to the ground as I can get it. So I'm facing downwards now, because I'm going to be upon this copper real soon. And you can see there's a cobalt deposit after that I can head to, but I really want to go in a different direction to the Promethium ore, because I also need that. It's all for the fuel packs. Yeah, the forward thrust does seem sluggish. I know I'm drilling at the moment, but even when I've drilled in a hole, it just seems really sluggish going forwards, so I'm going to beef that up a bit, see if it makes a difference. Right, we should be hitting the copper pretty soon. Thankfully I've got that little white arrow at the top of the screen in the middle to guide me to the centre. At least I hope that is guiding me to the centre. Yeah, so it is. Oh, it's spinning me all around. I'll know when I hit the copper because it'll start going into my harvester box. In the bottom left we'll see copper. I'm sure I should have hit it by now, surely. What is going on? I must have went straight through it. Oh, here we are, here's the copper. Right, so let's have a look. Where's my... Where did I come in? It does get a little confusing. Oh, so I come in over there. Straight ahead. Right, so now you can either face the nose up, like I say, and then drill through the wall. But let's say you want to be able to go straight up like that, without there being rock underneath you. How do you do that? Well, the first thing I want to do is make the entrance bigger so I don't get lost like I did last time, i.e. losing where I came in, where the entrance was. So I just want to widen this up before I demonstrate this. I'm making it a nice big hole at the entrance. That way, not only can I easily maneuver around, I will also see where I did enter, or where my tunnel is. Okay, right, that should be big enough even for me to see. Yeah, it is. So how do we get up there then? Yeah, I can scroll the mouse, but if I keep going forwards, I'm going to start going down. So what we do, press first of all, press the C key. Lower yourself down flat to the ground. See it moving down? That's pressing the C key. Get yourself as flat down as you can. Once you've done that, press the F key, hop out of your vehicle, jump to the side, go to the front, use your tier 2 drill, switch it to filler, and then at the front fill it with rock. Check the Gamester out. There you go, and that is how you can face it. I mean, I could face it like that if I wanted to, just building up a load of rock here and then glide it along in that direction. This is not really necessary though, because you can go around the edge of it, so I'm going to go back in, but you can use that little trick for pointing upwards to help you drill up. But as you can see here, I can manually point the drill modules up myself. If I can get this going, I definitely need to work on my forward thrust. Now it wants to be really difficult because it knows I want to show this. It is a little tricky to get used to, there is no denying that, but if you can get used to it, it definitely makes it a lot better. There we go, just needed to try and get that nose up. And what you do is you drill and just keep it pointing up, and if it's not too steep a slope you won't slide back down. And what I like to do, my little method, is I punch through to the surface and then start from the top going down. I know I've hit bedrock, so my tunnel is right on the bedrock. Keep your eyes open of course for drones. They may give you a bad day in your drill vehicle. And you see I'm drilling right along the edge, the side of the copper. The reason I'm not drilling up through the copper is because I want to be able to rest on top of the node and mine it out, drill it out evenly. If I'd put a hole in it, then I'd have a chance of falling through that hole as I'm drilling the node out. So that's the logic behind me doing it to the side like this. Now what we should see eventually is me popping out on the surface. Okay, let's flip myself up the right way. So that's the right way, so I am going in the right direction. Just good to check that. I maybe need to lift the nose a bit more and keep lifting it. Trouble is, it does spin you, keep spinning you around, so you have to keep checking, are you going in the right direction? You can of course keep the O key pressed, but I find that then difficult to keep climbing, but sometimes it's necessary. Anyway, right, okay, I better end the episode. I don't know how long I've been recording for, probably an hour and a half or something ridiculous like that. But you see, the trouble is I have so much fun doing this, and I wanted to try and get that across to you. I'll end up at the surface. I'm just not sure which millennium that will be in. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed the MegloDrill. Goodbye.